Could you speak to this difference? What is the difference and similarities between Judaism, Christianity, and Islam?
The religious family part is different. And the greatest difference, which I talked about in the Eric Weinstein podcast, is that Islam and Judaism are more similar in a lot of ways than Judaism and Christianity. And the reason that that is so is Christianity in its core is not a religion of law. The reason it's not a religion of law is because it grew up in the Roman Empire. So law was taken care of. I mean, Jesus didn't have to create civil law because you had Roman law. Muhammad and Moses created a religion in the desert where there was no law. So you have to create a religion of law. Otherwise, you have anarchy. And that's why, in a lot of ways, like there was never a separation of church and state in Islam or Judaism. That was a gift that Christianity gave the world. And it could do it because of render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. But when Moses came along, there was no Caesar. When Muhammad came along, there was no Caesar. So historically, the traditions shaped differently. But all three of them have this core, I think, the single most important statement and insight in all of human history, which is that every human being is in the image of God. And if you really believe that, that's a transformative belief.
So that means you should love,
Yes.
thy neighbor as yourself.
As thyself, which comes from Leviticus, comes straight from the Torah.
So I don't know if you know, I've been chatting with Omar Suleiman. I don't know if you know who that is. He's an imam in Dallas. Great guy. I enjoy his interfaith dialogues that he engages in. And do you ever do that kind of talk with Christians, with Muslims?
Yes, often.
I mean, I do whenever I at least listen to them in the context of these kinds of conversations. There's so much love and humor and empathy and appreciation, and also ability to make fun of the quirks of the little
Of one's own.
on one's own
Yep.
communities, so it's not, necessarily the depths of the details of the traditions, but, these are communities and they're full of people and they're full of weird people because we're all weird. And so there is very particular flavors of weirdness that emerge and they can make fun of them. And in that way they can talk about some like beautiful ideas. So, I mean, I don't know, do you engage in these kinds of things? What do you learn from them?
So one of the things I learned is exactly what you said, that personalities that you think are unique to your own community, in fact, they exist in all sorts of communities, and religious communities in particular draw, I think, some interesting personalities. And also that especially as clergy, some of the pressures that you feel are shared. And it's weird. Again, it has to do with that tribal association. There's almost like there's an understanding among clergy because they have similar and it's a strange role in the following way. It's one that you never escape. That is, you're not my lawyer at the supermarket, but you are my rabbi at the supermarket. I mean, it doesn't matter why you're there. That's not an escapable role. And every religious leader is aware of that, that strange assumption of stepping into something that you can never step out of.
But you're also the source where people go to think about the deepest question of our lives and our universe. And so that's some heavy, when people are suffering, they look to you for answers.
I mean, every privilege comes with a cost of one kind or another. The reason you get to be in that role is exactly because you get the privilege of being there at crucial moments in people's lives. I mean, the fact that I get to marry people and get to give eulogies for people and come to the hospital, it's inexpressible. I have this joke with people that I know that, like, when I'm sitting on the couch and it's Saturday night, I don't want to get up and go to a wedding. I really don't. I want to sit there and watch Netflix like everybody else.
Yeah.
But when I'm actually doing the wedding, I always love it. Always, always, always. And the reason is that I don't think I mean, yes, people go to you for answers in calmer conversations. Like if you asked me now, like, what's my theory of why God allows evil, I could give you a conversation about it.
Hmm.
But they really go for presence and comfort, not
Yeah.
really for answers. When someone's suffering, an answer doesn't
Yeah.
make them unsuffer. It's just they want to know they're not alone.
Yeah. To be heard and just to feel things in silence together.
Exactly.